Hey everyone. For today's topic, I wanted to share with you my opinion for what the height of masculinity and femininity is, because I truly do believe this is an important topic, especially in today's world. I feel like society is kind of going in a bad direction where, on average, men are becoming a bit more feminine, they're getting feminized, and women are becoming a bit more masculine, they're getting masculinized? Is that a word? I don't know. I just created it though if it isn't one. But yeah, this is a problem because there's a balance, a natural balance in nature, and it usually needs to be upheld, otherwise chaos is created. But I'll jump more into that a bit later. For now, I want to share with you what the height of masculinity and femininity truly is, in my opinion. And here it is. I believe the height of masculinity and femininity is someone having the courage to be their authentic self in almost any given moment and not caring all that much what other people think of them. That second part is like the integral thing here because it's required for being authentic, right? You can't care too much what others think of you if you're going to be authentic, because as soon as you care a lot, guess what? You're not going to be authentic anymore. If you want the approval and validation of others, then you're going to change your behavior, the way you act, to appease them. This is how you get all these ridiculous movements nowadays, like, this whole alpha mentality. I can tell you right now, any guys who care way too much about showing up alpha, guess what? That's them caring what other people think of them, right? I have a word for that. Vanity. It's them being vain, because you shouldn't care so much what others think of you, especially not to the point where you literally change the way you act to try to gain their approval. That is ridiculous. That is not masculine at all, and for women, that is not feminine, because you're not having the courage to just be you, to just show up in your truth. That is truly masculine and feminine. And before some of you say, like, how does that work for both sexes? Like, okay, it makes sense for masculinity, like being authentic, not caring what others think, but how does that work for femininity because they're so different? Well, here's the thing. I truly believe when people don't care what others think of them and they show up in their authenticity, they're naturally going to be what they are at their core. And men and women at their cores are masculine or feminine, respectively. That's the way we are. It's literally in our biology. Like, it's up here in that part of the brain that you don't really have all that much control over. Like, it's in our biology. So, if anything, we learn to go against it because it's how we are at our cores. So if someone doesn't care what other people will think of him or her enough to change their behavior, I'm pretty confident in saying that most people will be masculine or feminine based on them being a man or a woman. I truly do believe that. So there you go. That will be the height of masculinity and femininity. Somebody just showing up in their authenticity, not caring what others think of them, and just being true to themselves, because they'll naturally show up in masculine and feminine ways. But even so, they're not going to care what others think of them. They're not going to care if people view them as being masculine or feminine. They're just not going to be worried about it because they shouldn't be. None of us should be. It's so ridiculous how so many people are. Like, it's completely learned behavior to care that much about whether or not people perceive you as being masculine or feminine. Who gives two shites? Especially when most of the people who care a lot about these things, about being constantly masculine or feminine, they're deeply insecure. That's why they care so much. Remember what I said earlier? Yeah, they're vain. These are vain people. You really shouldn't care all that much what others think of you. You should still be kind and respectful towards them, but you shouldn't be worried about their thoughts about you. Who cares? Be authentic. Stay true to yourself. That is the height of masculinity and femininity. So, that being said, now let's dive into the more fun part of this video, which is just sharing a bit more info for why this is such an important thing. Because going back to what I was saying earlier, yeah, I do believe society is currently kind of conditioning men and women to go against their natures. It's part of the whole equality movement, which is good in some aspects, like men and women having the same rights. That is awesome. That's something that should be a part of every society out there. But that doesn't mean they need to be the same, like on a physical level and like everything spiritual and whatnot as well. Like, men and women don't need to be the same. They're inherently different by nature. Why are we trying to make men more like women and women more like men? It's weird and it's stupid. It doesn't hold any real purpose because it's creating issues. Like, You know, this whole plight of nice guys and how this is such a big issue, that's a result of men being feminized. Because men wouldn't end up in the friend zone and be like a stereotypical nice guy if they were taught to just be themselves. Because being themselves naturally will make them a bit more masculine, and women like that. Women like masculinity. But when you feminize men and you make them too feminine, now women don't like them anymore. Women don't find that attractive. So all these nice guys, they're too feminine usually. That's why they struggle with women. And then the same thing goes for women. Men do not like masculine women. If a man is incredibly masculine himself, he is very likely not going to find masculine women attractive. Because why would he? That would be almost like him dating himself or like another man. That's not what he's into. If he's really masculine himself, he's going to be attracted to the opposite, which is a very feminine woman. A woman who's almost like soft and beautiful and caring and gentle. That's what he's going to find attractive very likely, because he's going to have all the opposite things covered. He'll have like the strength, he'll have the wanting to be a provider, wanting to be a protector, wanting to be direct and confident in a relationship and making plans and that sort of thing, having things figured out. That he'll have that side of the equation covered. So he's not going to want to date like a boss lady who's super like overbearing and whatnot, and she's trying to constantly come up with all the plans on her own and dictate what he can and can't do. He's not going to find that attractive, because he's going to say, hey, look, that's, you know, what I want to do. Can you just, you know, be there for me and like handle, you know, the more gentler side of things? Yeah, so it's interesting, but there truly is that balance that I mentioned earlier in nature, and we really have to be careful about going against it, because yeah, we should have equality in society, equality when it comes to rights, but that doesn't mean men and women should be made the same in like some other weird form of equality where we're literally trying to ignore our physical differences and whatnot. Like you have BS out there of saying like women and men can be just the same strength wise over time if they train the same. Like that's not true at all. Like men are way stronger than women on average, like way stronger. It's so there's just a lot of BS out there, and it's getting to the point where it's almost ridiculous. So I wanted to make this video to ensure that none of you buy into that crap, and none of you buy into these really unhelpful ways of viewing what it is to be masculine or feminine. Because at the end of the day, if you have the courage to be authentic and you're just being you're being true to yourself, and you're not caring what other people think of you, that to me is the height of masculinity and femininity. So just do that, and if you're already doing it, do more of it. Don't care what other people think of you. Don't change your behavior for other people. Aim to be kind and a good person and respectful towards others, but don't worry what they think of you. That's all there is to it. So yeah, I just want to talk about this because it's important to me. But that's all I have for you guys. I truly hope you enjoyed this video. If you like content like this, be sure to subscribe for more. Otherwise, the easiest way you can help me out is just to throw a like and a comment on the video for the algorithm, and definitely let me know your thoughts on this, because this is an interesting subject, and I know I'm going to have ruffled some feathers there, especially for like the feminists out, or should I say the radical feminists out there, or even like men who follow MGTOW or who buy into this stupid alpha mentality. So yeah, I'm curious to see what you guys have to say on this, but that's all I have for you. I'll see you guys in the next video. Arrivederci!